I generally don't include 700, 710, 720 stories. But we had a student who had a score of 530 when he joined us. 20 days later, this guy got a 710. It's an extremely commendable score. He works with the Merchant Navy, got into ISB with 710, and ISB gave him scholarship also. So this is a very, very commendable story because of the 20-day period. His name is Karan, and the guy is so happy because he also got scholarship because he was not even hoping that ISB will be taking at 710. ISB may or may not take you. But the application work that he did with us through my colleague Autry, it was so phenomenally transformed and he's supremely happy. So I thought I'd just really make you meet someone who improved by 180 points in a matter of just 20 days. Hey Karan, hi, I can see
Hello,
you.
sir. Hello. Good afternoon, sir. How are
Good
you?
afternoon. Very, very scintillating success that I heard of. I have not
Yes, sir.
generally heard of something like this. So
Yes, sir.
just first tell us, how did the 180 mark transformation, like 530 to 710 is phenomenal. I've generally not heard such a huge transformation. So take us through what really happened. How did you go about this? And yeah.
Yes, sir. So I just recap my short journey. So
Hmm.
when I finished the course with you, I rushed into my GMAT since the deadline was fast approaching for round two ISB. So at that moment, I just had ISB round two I need to fill, so I need to give
Mhm.
the GMAT before that. And just after I finished the course, I thought I'll just give a attempt just to see
Mhm.
where I am. Although I'd given a few mocks, and I got a 530. And I mean, I would just recommend this to everyone that I used to see when you talk about the material you find online, like GMAT Club here and MBA Prep. A lot of clubs are there. They'll send you a lot of PDFs, and there is so much material. I used to like go through everything. But after that 530, I kind of also needed some motivation, because the deadline was about 15, 20 days, and
Mhm.
I just had one attempt left. So I watched a lot of KTW videos as well, not just for the motivation, but just the amount of perspective you get. You get a little confidence as well that you're well versed with what's happening. I then just stuck to the material. We had the 700 plus questions, and
Mhm.
there's one collated sheet for this verbal section as well, where you have
Right.
SC, RC, CR questions. And during my attempt, the second attempt, I had two questions from your CR, which you do in class. That same two questions. One is crop. One crop question was there that I knew that 750 wala, and I knew the answer as well. So that gave me a lot of confidence that the paper is going really well.
Mhm.
And I think I got a 40 on my verbal. In
That's
quant
really
also,
nice to know. Yeah, yeah.
and sir, in quant, I was pretty confident with my quant. I ended up missing the last two questions, like because my quant was going really well at that point, and I stuck to a few tough questions that I thought I could solve,
You
and that
just
kind
skipped. I
of
mean, they were not marked.
no, in the end, like I wasn't able to finish my paper because I stuck to these tough questions, which I thought
No,
I'll be
but did
able
you
to solve.
click the answers or not even click the
No, I
answers?
didn't click the answer. So I
Oh,
my score in
you have
quant.
50 points deducted because of
So
that.
that's my quant was pretty good, and I got a 47 in, I think, 47 in quant. But my in my mocks I used to get 49, 50 every time. So I think that way, like my score dropped in that sense.
I
But
have to tell
just
you, you would have got a 750, 760 because this is a penalty the exam imposes instantly. But anyway,
answer.
you got the school that you wanted. So,
Yes, sir.
what were the two, three things that you did differently the next time, like in terms of preparation? Each of the areas, can you take in a more detail, like quant, SCCRRC? Just
Like I mentioned, like earlier, I used to refer to all materials, like everything under the sun. You can see on GMAT Club and all these things. And the problem is when you look at these questions, so people give various different types of solutions, and you might think, oh, this is an easier version, and maybe this is the right. But most of them sometimes are they get lucky guesses right, so especially in
Mm.
probability and all these sections. So I would just stick to whatever you taught in the material that you'd given, and whenever you had doubts, I also used to contact
Mm.
I used to email my doubts as well. And
Right, right.
in quant, I did one thing was in the 700 to 800 material, whatever questions I was not able to solve, I used to mark them, and a week
Mhm.
later, I used to revise, like especially in statistics. And all these questions, there are a lot of questions there, and you probably won't be able to
Mm.
solve in the first attempt, and you just need to like revise them again, and that kind of strengthens your concepts.
Right.
And in English, I guess I rewatched the basics videos. I think that was really, really helpful. And when you
Mhm.
watch it again, I feel you learn something new every time. and I just applied whatever you taught. Even in RC, my RC was pretty strong. Even I thought my it was strong during my first attempt as well, but I just revised. I watched the marathon videos, so that were really helpful, especially
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
SC marathon videos, RC marathon videos, and just when you solve these questions, you get a lot of confidence, which I
Mhm.
think at the end of the day, that's what during the paper you need to be confident about your ability and you know where you stand, and just focus on the questions.
So, Karan, apart from the last two questions in quant that you couldn't finish, was there anything majorly unusual that you faced
And
on the exam?
sir, like I said, in the English, in the verbal section, I saw two questions which you do. One, I think one was
Yeah.
in the basics video, and everything was quite familiar. And during my 5:30 attempt, the paper seemed tough, but during this other attempt, I thought during the con section, actually, I was feeling that I'm not doing too well because the questions are really easy until I reached the end, when suddenly. And these questions were not unfamiliar. Like, this is something that you do, but you sometimes get stuck to a question. You're not able to. You know that you'll be able to solve it, but
Mhm.
so that is something I'll advise against also. So some people, you might don't want to spend 8 to 9 minutes on a question, even though you feel that
Right.
you will probably solve them.
Okay, and your background is in the merchant navy, right? Is
Yes, sir. So I am in the merchant navy, so that's primarily one of the problems I faced. Was I was not used to sitting on a computer as well for long
Mhm.
periods of time. I used to get headaches, and just
Mhm.
acclimatizing myself with the content. And one tip that I would like to give to everyone else was, do not use copies or pens. Like, do not read from the written material that you get from the books. Just stick to getting used to the computer, because I think
Right.
that's an important aspect, because it's easier to just mark and write in a notebook, but
Yeah.
just not do that. Like, I think that's
Also,
important.
let me know, because at 710 you would have felt a little iffy about ISB also, but how did
Uh,
Autry chip in
so
and how
yeah,
did he
so
help you?
that's so I gave the GMAT I think 5 days before the deadline, and I
Okay.
contacted Audrey that this is the case and I have a few days, and even 710 for ISB is not a very good score, because I know people with 750, 760 in round one who didn't get through with my profile, and with better grades than
Hmm.
mine. So he just, the way he got my essays, like collated all the information for my background, the way he presented, by
Hmm.
when you concentrate on the managerial aspects and how to bring
Hmm.
about, I think, the fine tuning of the words and
Hmm.
in the essays, and how he like they say, every word you treat it like real estate, and just the, I think, the
Yeah.
amount of finesse he has in his work, I think that is incredible, and that too in a matter of a few days. People take a lot of time to collate their essays, and I guess it's not just ISB, sir. I got an interview call even from NUS, NTU, actually wherever I've
Hmm.
applied to, which all
Oh,
schools
wow.
he's recommended. So I'm even waiting to hear from them, even a few colleges in the US. So I mean, just the fact with my score, and also in ISB, I got a scholarship in round two, which is with my
Yeah.
score, I thought ये तो
Absolutely. That is just an incredible thing. Also, this was round two, right, for you.
right,
So,
sir.
I
And
mean, so there must have been a lot of turnaround in the way application
and
happens.
yes, sir. I also, one more thing that I watched during my interview preparation. The only thing I did was I watched the KTW sessions. Not just for the motivation, but the amount of context you give. I even attended the live session. I had an interview for Michigan the next day, and on 26th, I attended the live session in Delhi.
Oh, right,
So
right.
I had to rush through it, everything, because I had an interview the next day. But
Mhm.
the amount of context you give, not just not considering the motivational aspect, but the amount of information you get, you're more confident during the interview. And
Yeah, it may not be directly useful, but you can always connect something or the other, like something, or you may not even connect, but you just are more confident, maybe. So I think
yes,
overall
sir.
it plays out really well.
Yes, sir. I think in one of my interviews in NUS, I think they talked about Bill Gates, and they talked to me about what do you feel about them, and you talked about Bill Gates, about how everything. So मैंने पूरा वो सुना दिया, and I think that's all these things went in my favor. So
So
I
you
think
just
those are
know
very helpful.
sometimes it happens. Really, really nice. So
Absolutely,
a
sir.
couple of things that you will suggest people should not do while preparing for the GMAT, and couple of things that they should do. I always ask because we always tend to learn a few lessons that we can pass on to the future
Right, sir.
generation of test takers. Please let us
Uh,
know.
One thing is that when you start preparing, you will find a lot of WhatsApp groups and a lot of people who are preparing with you, like Facebook, on WhatsApp, GMAT Club, and they'll keep posting questions, or you keep posting solutions. I would recommend not going through them, because maybe some of them are right, maybe some of them are. You may feel it. it's a faster method, but whatever is being taught in the material that's been given by top 1%, you just stick to it. And I
Mhm.
think the entire material is good enough. The 700, 800 level questions, pura, I think your quant will be covered in that as well. And if you find a question that's tough, I think you should just mark it and just 3-4 दिन बाद you go over it again and see what you'll probably learn something new. So I
Right,
think
right.
just stick to that and not like they say na everything under the sun. You'll get so much material when you study.
Mhm.
Just
So
top
you
one
also
percent
have your
guide.
NTU interview coming up, right? That is
Yeah, I have
tomorrow.
it tomorrow, but
Superb,
yeah,
super. Let's
yes,
hope.
sir.
I mean, if some other places also you get through, even if you join ISB, it will be a good confidence boost that you made it to other places as well.
Yes,
And
sir.
finish the Know the World videos, whatever 21, 22, 23. I'm very sure they'll stand you in a very, very good position later on during case
Exactly, sir.
studies or other things. And sure. Thanks,
Yes, sir.
Karan, then for joining us, and really
You're welcome,
wonderful
sir.
to know your story that this was the transformation. 5:30 to 7:10 in 20 days is unheard of otherwise. All right.
Thank you
See you
so much,
then.
sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much, sir. Bye,
Yeah.
sir.
Bye-bye.